Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to one of many, most likely, Street Fighter reviews. Today I'm going to be doing Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior right here. I've always kind of wanted to do them, but the problem was I never really knew how I wanted to do them, if I wanted to do them vlog style, if I wanted to do them like professional style or whatever. And I figured I would just do them like vlog style or whatever. Right here in the back, we've got Street Fighter 2 Hyper, or Hyper Street Fighter 2, I guess. Uh, so yeah, I've got that, but I have this version, which is the one I'm reviewing, which is Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior. If I look crooked, it's just because I don't have a... I've just got this sort of game room thing set up, and I just kind of have it positioned a certain way just for right now until I get like a real, camera and tripod and all that. But for right now, I'm just kind of doing it on the webcam and stuff. I've got this footage back here. I will have some footage from this game on there, but this is not the same as this game, which is some things I'm going to talk about, but I figured I'd have this in the background for when I would do this review. So in case you don't want to just look at me or have me in the review the whole time, you can have something else to look at. You can pay attention to that or run this in the background. I don't really care. But Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior was a game on Super Nintendo that was a pretty good game for its time. It kind of revolutionized fighting games, and I'm not going to go into the whole history of that. That's a completely different video, but this console port is actually not too bad. There are plenty of other ports that came out, but this is probably what mostly everyone played. You're probably wondering what this crap is. I'll show it to you now. This is my World Warrior copy. As you can see, the label's all ripped and stuff. Back in the day, I would get games. My family wasn't the richest of people, and we usually bought games at pawn shops and stuff, and I was always kind of a console generation behind everybody else. So when I was getting into like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, etc., people were going on to like Tekken and all this, and this is back in 1997. This is probably the first time I played this game, the first time I got it. This is actually the first fighting game I ever owned. I'm not sure if it was the first fighting game I played. It was either this or Mortal Kombat 1. But I had a lot of good times playing this game. Um, it's a fun game. However, the game is a little slow for today's standards. I wouldn't recommend playing this unless you want to try and get into Street Fighter for your first time. Try and pick this up. It's slower, but it's not slower in the right way. I mean, maybe for new players it might help them, but there's a lot of cool stuff in this game that really, people I think make fun of Street Fighter for so many reasons. Like, oh, they have like 5 million different versions. Why couldn't they just have Street Fighter the Good Edition? Yeah, I'm talking about AVG in there. In one of his reviews, he mentioned that, which I found it comical, but at the same time, he's kind of right, but that's kind of why I'm doing these videos. People don't understand what the differences are between all the versions. Now, not every single version of Street Fighter is going to have a difference, but these older ones, they've got differences, and they have reasons for releasing and things like that. The Super Nintendo version, is it the best version of Street Fighter 2? This original version, I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's a great version to play if you're just starting, if you're just trying to learn how Street Fighter works. This is a good version to play. There's one thing also on this. I'll jump cut to footage and show you what the footage is like in the game, but for right now I'm just going to kind of talk. And one thing I wanted to talk about was the censoring. Yeah, there's actually censoring in this game. If you ever played Mortal Kombat 1, you guys probably know the history of that and how Nintendo censored the MK1 port. And they kind of did it with this one, too. If you ever played the arcade or played the Genesis version, you can tell there's censored stuff in the game. There's certain bloody scenes, like faces and stuff, that are a lot worse in the arcade than this. For example, with Blanca or Blanca, however you want to call him, there's a thing where his defeat pose is just like this bruised head face thing. It's all the blood has been touched up. If you play the arcade version or the Genesis version, though, his like eyeball is popping out. He's got blood running from his mouth, and I think there's little bits of blood here, but for the most part, it's not nearly as bad as like the Genesis one. It looks more realistic and beaten up, I guess, on this version, but that one just looks so much more brutal, and yeah. Also, I want to show you guys something kind of funny about this. I take good care of my cartridges, and like I was saying before, my parents, we never really had all the newest things, the best stuff. So a lot of times I had to get pawn shop, titles secondhand and all that. But I did take good care of this. This is how it came. On the top here, it says Street, and that's how it came. That's just how it came. And on the back, it's got my initials from when I was a kid, and I lent people games. My parents made me write in marker on the back my initials. So again, if you enjoy Street Fighter 2, I think this would be a great game to start out with, but I wouldn't recommend it if you could get other versions like HD Remix or whatever version you want to get. That's probably the most obtainable version for you. I'd recommend that one. I haven't personally played it yet, but I've seen enough stuff for it to know it's basically this and, that and a bag of chips, I guess, is what you'd say. I don't know what the current saying would be for that, but other than that, there's some other censoring differences as well, like on Balrog stage. Let's see, how would I put this? Balrog. Oh, that's another thing. The Japanese names. The names are converted different here in America. If you play the Japanese versions, Bison is in Japan. Bison is, Balrog here in the U.S. is Balrog, the boxer. He is known as Bison in Japan. And then M. Bison is known as Vega. Our U.S. M. Bison is known as Vega in Japan. And then Balrog, our Vega, is known as Balrog. So the names are just like, what was it, it's clockwise shifted, I think. So you just, or counterclockwise, no? Yeah, counterclockwise. You shift the names counterclockwise. So if you look at the stages, like when they come up and it goes, Balrog. Let's see, how would that be for you guys? Yeah, this screen. Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and then Bison's there as well. You just shift all the names like counterclockwise, and that would tell you, that's how you remember the names. I don't know why they didn't just change Balrog to Bison to Balrog and Balrog to Bison, just switching the two names. I didn't know why they had to switch Vega's name around and do them all like that. I don't know. Maybe it just sounded cooler, but I don't know. Someone told me it had something to do with Mike Tyson and some legal issues. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but again, I don't really know the story behind that. But that was another thing. The censoring on Balrog, Japan's M. Bison, Balrog, our U.S. Balrog, on his stage, the Las Vegas stage, there's girls in the background, showgirls, and they have like bikinis on in the arcade and in the Genesis port. But in the Super Nintendo port, they're wearing one-piece suits, so it covers the midriff, and I don't know if they censor the cleavage or not, but that's one of the other things that's different. And the speech. There's not as much speech in this version. There's only a round 1, round 2 fight. That's it. There's no perfect sounds. There's not you win. I think that's it for the sounds. The mini games, I think there's a mini game missing as well. It's a 16-bit port. You can't expect arcade perfect, but I'm just trying to, show you guys the differences or tell you guys the differences. That would be one of them, though, the mini games. I think there's a barrel busting mini game or a fire barrel mini game or something. And there's only the car mini game and the bricks, the pyramid of bricks. You beat them up and they go away, and then you get a score for however fast you beat it. Other than that, the characters play pretty well. They don't have their added moves, which, again, in future games, they get added moves and stuff. Some of the animations aren't there, like the full animations, as you can see. I don't know how well you guys can see it. You may not be able to see it very well. It probably looks like crap, but again, I just kind of threw it on the screen for something to have in the background. But there's some animations that aren't there, like if they walk forward and walk backwards, like they actually move like this. It's like a 2-frame animation. It's just 1, 2, 1, 2, but it's like 3 or 4 frames for the actual arcade one. So it's stuff like that. It's just very minor things to nitpick, but it is something to, nitpick if you were actually looking for that kind of stuff. Overall, now I'm just going to stop talking. show you some gameplay, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on Street Fighter 2: The World Warrior.
Round one, fight! Hadouken! 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 Let go that fire! Hadouken! 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 Round one, fight! Fight! Round one, fight! Round two, fight!
Alright, so you saw some footage that I posted there, and hope you guys enjoyed this review. It's really hard to kind of review some of this stuff because it's old and it's a little slower, but again, I showed off a few things, you know, like the mini games and whatnot, and just how the general battle system is. Overall, I would have to give this an 8 out of 10, just because of, again, some of the sounds. They could have added the sounds, I think, and the censorship was kind of, you know, really don't see the reasoning for it. And when you beat the game, oh, another thing, when you beat the game, you have to beat it on the medium difficulty or higher to get the endings. So standard default, which is like 4-star, you have to do it on 4-star, 3 or 4-star, and you have to go through the game like that. You can't go through one; it'll just say, "Please try again" or whatever. So as long as you do that, you can do that, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else I can say about this game. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll hit you guys up with another Street Fighter review. May even be this one next. I don't know. I don't have any of the other Super Nintendo games at the moment, and my Genesis stuff is back up home. I'm 1,000 miles away from my original house where all my stuff is, for those of you guys who are just tuning into these reviews. So I will be getting this stuff eventually. It's just going to take me a while. I've got collector's editions. I got so many versions of Street Fighter stuff to review, so I thought I'd start with this one. I'm hoping to get all the other Super Nintendo stuff eventually. I kind of have the Hyper one, so it's kind of like having them, you know, the best one. I haven't really had the motivation to get the other ones, you know, when you have this one. So anyway, enough of me blabbing. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I'll try and improve these as I go on in the future. Again, it's just kind of hard to do when I've never really done them before like this. So hopefully I'll get better, and hopefully you guys will stay tuned and enjoy. And thanks for watching.